started. I'm so excited, everybody, to have this conversation because
Yeah.
Elijah Boothe, we
Yes.
have had some amazing conversations, and from film to music to your purpose. And today's
Yeah.
conversation, I really wanted to highlight the beginning and the becoming of
Mm.
Elijah. Uh,
Mm.
but before we get started, I always like to ask this question. In this season of your life, how are you and how is your heart?
And I think my last answer before was at peace. And
Hmm.
I'm still at peace.
Okay.
I'm still at peace. And um I had the final mixing session maybe 2 nights ago. That's why I'm like,
You're like, I'm
you
all
know,
over. Come
I'm
on, y'all.
I'm
Yeah,
all over, but I'm still here. I'm still present,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know. And we went through every single track on the
Hmm.
project,
Okay.
and I realized, well, that was it. Like, we're done. Like, we kind of did everything. This is the end of this chapter, at least for this story
Yeah.
that has been accumulating over the course of like 2 to 3 years.
Mhm.
And so it really just, I don't know, I felt like a child again. I felt like
Mm.
it was healing to my inner child. And when you mention like the beginning, I think we kind of have to start back there. We
Yeah.
have to start with that young 8-year-old boy that was walking down the aisle, singing in church, telling
Mhm.
all the people in the pew, God's gonna heal you.
Come on.
Or you're gonna get through that. And I think that sense of encouragement and knowing, or actually that sense of purpose at a young age, just knowing that the power of music has the ability to heal and to
Yeah.
change and to inspire has always stuck with me. And I think
Yeah.
it's been the main thing that's carried me through.
I think what we all love about you is the magnitude that you are able to do so many different things. And you never really stay in one lane, which makes you so much more marketable, but also it allows us to see so many different layers of who Elijah is. When you think back to the young Elijah, what dream did you have that you're finally living today?
I think this one.
Okay.
I think this one as a singer. Uh, you know what? A lot of people don't know, but I
Mhm.
started doing music first.
Oh, wow.
Music was the beginning. Church was where it really all started for me. And of course, when you're like 10, 11 years old, what are you really singing about? I
Right.
knew that
Right.
this was a part of my purpose and my calling back then, but did I know the stories and like songs that I would be singing about? No, I
Mhm.
really didn't know. I just knew I had to use my voice,
Yeah.
that using that gift was a part of my calling, but I didn't realize the message that I was
Mm.
carrying through.
Yeah.
And that took years of development. That
Okay.
took years of experience, even wanting to put out my project 3 years ago. I wasn't ready 3 years ago. I didn't really have uh I don't think the story was done being written,
So, yeah.
told. Yeah. Yeah. And so I didn't realize that in the moment, but I said, oh, okay, God, I see you. Like I kind of had to go through a little bit of the shaking and the pressing in order for you to be able to give me this next phase of my career.
Hmm.
And just kind of seeing the culmination of everything come to be. So many aha moments,
Yeah.
like
You
you,
love those aha moments, though. That's the journey.
yeah, yeah.
The
It
jour-
makes it so good.
yeah. What's something about your journey, though, that people often misunderstand?
I think I get people that will often assume that it's way easier
Mm.
than it meets the eye.
Wow.
Sure. And maybe that's the acting and music crossover. Maybe they just
Yeah.
assume. Maybe it's, oh well, his older brother is two-time Grammy winning,
Yeah.
producer of Knowledge. Maybe it's that,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. Um, but I guarantee you, I feel like with music, not only does it feed my soul in a different way, artistically and creatively and spiritually than acting does. But I think it's a little bit, well, it's been a little bit more rewarding in this moment
Okay.
because I've had to fight super
Hmm.
hard to make sure that everything stayed on track. You know,
Yeah.
with acting, you're playing a character, you're joining
Hmm.
a production. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything is already set up for you. It's a locomotive that's already
It
moving.
is.
But when you're telling your story, you know, when you are defining what your artistry looks like, what is your sound, what is your vision, what is
Mhm.
your overall mission,
Mhm.
you know, that's up to you,
Yeah. You
you
get to
know.
decide that. Absolutely.
Yeah, and some artists burn out.
Hmm.
You know, some artists they would rather hide, you know, behind the guise and mask of a character or of telling someone else's story. And for me, with this project specifically, it's called Higher because it really is about just really tapping into a higher level of love, a
Wow.
higher level of confidence, a higher level of just knowing who you are and being able
Mhm.
to walk into your purpose, you know? And
Yeah.
yeah, I wanted this project more than anything to be authentic. And
Hmm.
I really wanted to create a body of work that I knew would stand the test of time,
Yeah.
you know?
With you, I think of this new, and not new, but this new season of your life as your act two. This
Yes.
is the music, right?
Yeah,
Your new single arrives to all of us, and we're so excited for July 17th to happen because it's still July 17th. Look, we still,
it is.
you
It
know,
is.
the
Yeah.
people like to move
Thank you
dates
for
back.
asking. Yes, yes. Because you know, sometimes it
You
could,
know, listen, things happen, right? But
yeah.
July 17th, and also followed by a phenomenal and amazing EP in August. Why is this the right moment for people to hear your voice as a musician?
I think. And you know what? Up until this time, I've been listening. Every
Mhm.
single Friday, I've been listening to the playlist, all the new drops. And you know, it's been a blessing to hear all the great music that's out there, but it's also given me comfort to know that what I have and what I'm offering,
Yeah,
it's a little bit different.
yeah,
And I think uh now's the perfect time to be able to put this project out because for me, it's giving authenticity.
yeah.
It's giving honesty. And
Hmm.
these are things that's like, oh well, shouldn't we always see that? Shouldn't we always see that? You
You
would
would
be
be surprised.
surprised.
Yeah.
You know, it's really giving true storytelling here.
Okay.
And I when it comes to like my audience and my listeners, I didn't want to lie. I
Yeah.
wanted to be honest, especially if this is not a character. If this is me, I'm gonna give y'all the real me. I'm gonna let y'all in and you know, in a different way and really understand like, you know, who I am.
Yeah.
This is really my first opportunity. I've never played a character acting wise that was able to tell my story, you
Yeah.
know, or was able to really exude and express how I'm really feeling. So
Exactly.
this,
Exactly.
that. And we're filming the music video this upcoming weekend.
Come on.
So everything is it's so exciting.
I love it's just the alignment, right? When you wrote these songs, were you writing for yourself first or were you writing for your fans and your listeners?
To be honest with you, it was for me. It
Okay.
was for me, and I think that's why this project hit a little bit different. With
Okay.
my last project, it was really a palate cleanser. And I
Okay.
said, okay, this is really people hearing me put out this full body of work for the very first time. My
Mm-hmm.
sound. So I think the first project, which was called Wake Up Call, it was really a culmination of different sounds
Yeah.
and just testing and experimenting to see what people liked more.
Okay.
But for this project, it was like, I have a story to tell. I
Yeah.
have went through hell and high water, and it is a miracle that I'm still here. And
Yeah.
because I'm still here, that within itself speaks to my purpose.
Absolutely.
And what I will do with that, okay, we need to make sure that like, you know, this is not going to be in vain. We're going to live in our truth. We're going to walk in our truth. We're
Mm.
going to live honestly. Now that we've made it through out of what we've been through, now we're going to set and establish
Yeah.
stronger boundaries, right? with
Yeah.
who we choose to let in our space and our circle, with who we choose to manage or monitor our gift
Mhm.
experience. Access is a really important
Let
thing.
me tell you something.
I mean, we need to really talk about that.
People don't talk a lot about, and I've used the term, and I love how you're taking me off my notes, but I thought about something as you were talking, and I talked to my friends and people and mentees about edits and editing people out of your life that no longer serve you, right? And I think that
Yeah.
you just spoke eloquently about that because I think as you evolve in whatever career or space or just even mental status, you have to start looking at people differently. Who do you
Yeah.
allow access to you? What do you want access to? And every year I kind of give myself a mantra. I remember a year ago it was intention. I want to be intentional with everything. Da 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 da. And this year it was about access. And to your point, it's like, who do I allow access to me? What access do I want to be a part of? All the things. So, but you've worked alongside artists that both of us know, like Knwledge and Durand, Bernarr. What did
Mhm.
those collaborations teach you about trusting your own artistry?
Most definitely, I would say they all taught me that everything that I need at the end of the day is within here.
Mm,
I think coming into the music business, which we all know is completely different from acting, but coming into it, initially for me, I'm used to uh just really having a team,
mm,
a village around me. And
mm.
even when it comes to producing, I'm like, okay, I
Yep,
gotta find the
yep.
producer. I gotta, find the writer. I've always typically written my own stuff, but still, you're trying to go to the next level. So naturally you think
Yes.
expansion,
Yeah.
right? And so, having all these different people, all these different producers, I started to realize I'm diluting my own voice. I'm diluting my own sound. What is my look? How should I wear my hair? What
Yeah.
what do I sing about? This production that's coming in, it's what's here. Like I can try to make it work, but this really doesn't speak to my authentic soulful gospel roots. How do I get there? You know? And so talking to my older brother, he was just always like really, really uh, uh confident when it came to, hey, produce your own stuff.
Hmm.
And I went through a little moment where I was like, I'm not a producer. I'm not a producer. I'm a singer. I just want to sing. I'm not trying to do all of that. Maybe I'll write my own stuff, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I believe in everyone's calling, right? And for me, initially, I was like, well, I don't think production is my calling. Like, I am totally fine playing my role. I show up to set, I show up
Right. Let everybody else do
go
what
on
they do.
stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, let them do what they do best. But he saw an anointing. He saw untapped potential in me that I didn't even see in myself. And so when I started to fiddle around and, you know, I started to see, okay, well, let me see what I can do here. I kid you not. It unlocked something, and I think it really has made some of the best music in
Mm.
my entire life that I didn't even realize
I
was
love a good breakthrough.
capable.
I love
Yes.
a good breakthrough.
But you know
Ooh.
what? I was only able to break through because I was consistent
Yeah.
at making sure, okay, let me not give up. All right.
Hmm. Hmm.
I tried twice to produce something and it's not hitting. It's not, I have to clock myself
Yeah.
because it's not clocking here. And so I kept at it. I kept at it. And one day, I forget what the first song was that I produced. Um, Either way, that day something clicked and it hit. And I never looked back. And for Durand, I'll say Durand, even when I first moved to LA in 2017, like I recall Durand was the first person um that really kind of took me in,
Yep.
you
Yep.
will. Like,
Yeah.
when I moved here, my brother was already in LA, but he
Hmm.
was moving and shaking. He
Yeah.
was on
Yeah.
tour, he's producing, and him and Anderson were moving. And while I longed to have that mentorship 24/7,
They were building. Yeah.
they were building as well. And it's just like, you can't, everybody has dreams,
Yeah.
and you really can't expect someone to be as passionate about
Hmm.
your
Hmm.
vision.
Hmm.
more than you are.
Yeah.
And so while my brother was on the road, I don't know if him and Durand had a conversation, but Durand kind of came in and stepped up in a way that I think my brother wanted to, but he wasn't able to.
Yeah.
And it was almost like he really became another brother for me.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
and it was also different, like, navigating this space as someone who was a part of the LGBT community.
Hmm. Hmm.
That could be turbulent too.
Yeah. That's a whole nother layer of things. Yeah.
And I can recall like our very first conversation. First of all, I didn't even move here yet. Like I was in LA, but I didn't have residence. Like I was literally Airbnb-ing,
Wow.
around town for like months at a time before I was permanently here.
Okay.
But I was willing to fight for this. I was willing to like do what I had to do to be in this environment because I knew
Hmm.
LA was where I had to be. Played some of the songs, ironically, I played some of the songs that uh I think there's two on this project,
Okay.
all the way from back when they were in early development.
Wow.
And I recall one song that made it to my last project, That Bag,
Hmm.
featuring Durand Bernarr. I played Durand a few tracks, and when he heard that one, he stopped it. He was like, wait, go back.
Yeah.
And even back then, this was like 2017, he was like, I
That's
have to be
it.
on this one. I have to be on this one. That bag, this is different. This is different. And even with that record, that was speaking to the grind, the hustle, get that, got to get that bag, you
Yeah.
know? And even to be able to put that record out on my last project and to get so much love in Sweden, in South America. And I said, okay. Like, I didn't realize that all of you guys were listening, across the seas. So, it wasn't just, joy that people were listening to me, it was that people were implementing my music, that song,
Yep.
as a part of their daily mantra.
Yeah.
Get that bag. I'm on my way. I'm commuting to, on the bus to go to work.
Yeah.
Get that bag. Not only just going to work, but I'm working with a purpose. This is intentional.
Hmm.
This is a part of my hustle, and eventually I'm going to reach my goal.
Come on. Come on.
Even for me, a lot of people don't, they're like, oh, he's on site. Some of us are still working a full-time job even there,
Absolutely.
And so for me, I had to hunker down at some point and be like, how am I going to get this extra money to be able to fund my entire project on my own with
Yeah.
nobody supporting my backing? How am I going to pay for my team and make sure everybody's good?
Yeah.
I gotta go to work.
We
Get
gotta
that
go to work,
bag.
But I think what I love about you is that there's so many things and nuggets that you've always given people within your music, but also just in real life that I
Mhm.
want to thank you, though. I want to thank you for just showing up, one, for yourself, but then two, you've shown up for so many people. We would be remiss if we did not talk about your act three, which I would also say is your acting meets your music. And you've appeared in some projects like Luke Cage and Blue Bloods, Coin Heist, and A Rainy Day in New York. How has acting made you a better songwriter?
Mm, great question. Uh, I think acting as it pertains to storytelling and plot and knowing just knowing how to get from point A to point B, and never forgetting the intentionality of it all.
Yeah.
Uh, Knowing your why,
Come on.
you know?
Come on.
There
Ooh.
should always be a why in
It should
everything.
always be a why.
And sometimes I find myself asking that question, like,
Yeah.
why am I doing this? Why do I want to sing a song about heartbreak?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, maybe the true intent behind that is to go from heartbreak to healing. What does that look like? You know? And
Woo!
so acting, I think, has helped me bridge the gap
Yeah.
with all of this stuff going on and all of this noise. And music is such a saturated business and there's so many moving parts, but acting, I think for me has always allowed me to remember what is the constant,
Yeah. Elijah, has music also made you more emotionally available as an actor?
without a doubt.
Okay.
Without a doubt. I think music has made me more honest as an
Mm,
actor
mm,
because people forget like with music, and I'm talking about real music.
come on.
Nope, no shade. But I'm saying like real artistry, there's no veil for you to hide behind.
No.
When you think about the greats, and those are the only people that I'm looking at. You know, whenever people ask me, "Oh, what do you listen to right now?" I've traveled back in time. I'm not in 2026. I'm
I'm
just
still
saying
on John Coltrane and Whitney and
Whitney Houston,
Aretha,
Marvin Gaye,
and
Sam
honestly,
Cooke, Nat King
same.
Cole,
Yeah. Phyllis
Music
Hyman,
Soul Child,
Phyllis Hyman,
Phyllis Hyman.
Dionne Warwick. I mean, we can keep
Yes.
going. Yes, yes, yes.
And more on Whitney, Brandy, but
Brand,
even more on these like icons, right, that have come before us. Like
yeah,
they've done what I'm doing times 100,
come
right? I look at Whitney, also a talent from Jersey.
come
Jersey
on.
has a lot. I don't know
Jersey
what it
got a
is in the
lot.
water out
What it is.
there.
Yeah, y'all got something going on. Shout out to Lauren
Shout
also.
out to Lauren. Shout out to Queen Latifah. Shout out to
La, yeah.
everybody from Jersey. But looking at those pioneers and those pillars that have come before me,
Mhm.
and I hope to always emulate my career in the same way that they have
Yeah.
in terms of impact. But I look at Whitney and I look at all these greats, and I'm like, they were living in their truth as much as they could, but they were honest. And even if the context of what they were singing about
Mhm.
was something different, it was the conviction, which
Absolutely.
which how they sang those
Yeah.
lines. You could feel it with Whitney, every single word, every run
Yeah.
you know? And for me, I'm so excited. I can't even wait to step on stage to sing this music live. Because I think that's where it all started. It started with that young boy walking down the pew. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Really trying to encourage and really singing with conviction, letting
Yeah.
people know, be encouraged, or hey, this situation that you're going through, it might be rough right now, but no, there's something greater, there's something higher on the other side for you,
Hmm.
you know?
I want to get into two quick questions from our
Mhm.
listening audience. One comes from Marcus out of Brooklyn, and he says, Elijah, if someone listens to the EP from beginning to end, what emotional journey do you hope they experience?
Hi, Marcus. Uh, Great question. What emotional experience do I hope that they get? I want to say I hope that there's just an overall sense of growth.
Hmm.
I hope that you walk away feeling more confident and feeling more wisdom as it pertains to your next phase and your
Hmm.
next journey in love, for your career, for yourself. When you look in the mirror, I
Hmm.
want you to be able to say, okay, you know what? Let's strap up, boots on, let's
Come on.
do this. I have the confidence, I have the wherewithal. And more importantly, I have the wisdom now after
Yeah.
going through this.
Shannon out of Sherman Oaks, she says, Elijah, Hollywood can celebrate success while quietly testing your confidence.
Mhm.
What has kept you grounded all this time?
Prayer.
Look, I was going to answer that one for you. The
I
Lord.
yes, literally prayer. I mean, if you guys only knew, and it's great because while I've been going on this journey, putting my sophomore EP together, and doing it in a much bigger way than I did for the last project. I've been documenting every single moment, every photo shoot, every video shoot. I'm doing behind the scenes. I'm doing my own confessionals. You would think I had a reality TV show going on here. But I think it's so important for people to see the journey and to see what
Yes.
all it takes,
Yeah.
to kind of get to this point.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so I think for me, what has held me down sometimes when like I can look left and right and I might be the only person in the room, you know? You have to be able to know that you are all that you need
Yeah.
to be okay. If worse comes to worse, bet on you, bet on yourself. And I think like my constant like belief in faith in God.
Hmm.
I always like to quote this saying that my mom used to tell me. It's just like, God would never put more on you than you
Yeah.
can bear.
Yep.
Excuse me. And she always said, "Hey, you've been acting for 20 years now at this point.
Mhm.
I started when I was 10."
Yes.
And you've been singing your entire life. And yeah, you've experienced some obstacles. Yeah, you've experienced some tests and trials.
Mhm.
But do you really, and this goes for all these listeners too, right? Anybody listening, Marcus, Shannon, do you really think that God would bring you this far to only bring you this far?
Come on.
There's so much more, I think, that we probably haven't even thought of yet that God has in store for us,
Yeah.
you know? But faith without works is dead. Write the vision, make it plain, follow through.
That's it. Shout out to the
That's
follow
it.
through. As we
Yeah.
get ready to wrap our show, a quick rapid fire. You only get 2 seconds to answer. I love putting people on the spot because it's kind of like, oh my God, this is actually something I probably have been thinking of. First question: morning person or night owl?
Night owl,
Favorite city to create music in?
LA.
Ooh. A
Yeah.
song you wish that you have written?
Ooh, hours and hours, money long.
Shout out to Money.
So
Uh,
talented.
one actor you would love to still work with?
One actor?
Hmm.
Ooh, that's a hard question. But off the top of my head, I would definitely say, ooh, only one person?
One.
Only one. Taraji P. Henson.
Shout out to TP.
Yeah.
One musician you would like to collaborate with?
Knowledge.
Shout out to Knowledge. Your
Yeah.
favorite place to find peace?
Prayer.
What's one currently on repeat in your headphones? One song that's currently just on repeat. And I can tell you mine if you need time to think about it.
One song that's on repeat, I will say, as of lately, I've been listening to Chloe Bailey's new project, Resurrection. So, Talking Dirty, Better Than She
Listen.
Can, Belong to You.
Come on. Listen, I've been on my Tank era these days. I've been
Okay.
reloading Tank again. I don't know why. There's some songs. I'm like, wait a minute, brother. I
Yeah.
texted the team and was like, when did he make this? They were like,
Tank.
listen, this is old. And one word that describes this next chapter of Elijah Booth.
Awakening.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Five years from now, what do you hope people say about the impact that your art and your music has on them, not your resume?
Mm. Well, 5 years, I would definitely hope that people are saying that I make music that's timeless, that stands the test of time. But in terms of the impact, um, I want people to feel joy and healing from
Hmm.
music.
Last question I always love to ask, and I feel like I've asked you this now twice. What do you want your legacy to be?
Never give up on your dreams.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm. Any last words you have for any of your new fans, your listeners, your friends and family, all of the things? Any last words?
The last thing I'll say is one, thank you to everybody that's been supporting me, everybody that's been listening, that's been along for the journey. Definitely stay tuned for all the new music to come. I will definitely say it's going to be worth the wait for sure.
Where can they find you, Elijah?
So you guys can find me across all platforms at Elijah Boothe, ElijahBoothe.
And as we always say on Power 97.5 LA, Power B 97.5 Vegas, and now our new home on Spotify. Stay positive, but stay creative. Until next time, thank you guys for tuning in.